Welcome to LaTour Retirement Talk. I'm your co-host, Tony Shore, and I am here with our hosts, Jim Margraf and Josh LaTour. We've had some great episodes lately. We had Lisa Schreiber from Gradient Investments on. Josh, you just spent some time away with some other advisors. You went on a trip recently, and sounds like it went well. And Jim, you held down the fort okay there?
Yeah, we survived.
We survived. You and I did the show with Lisa. Yeah.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a lot of fun.
It's always a privilege to be able to talk to the portfolio managers, and so that's one of the benefits of that's why we use Gradient Investments.
Yeah, that's awesome. And Josh, your trip went well?
Oh, it was fantastic, Tony. Yeah, I thought about not coming back, but I figured Jim would have a thing or two to say about it.
Yes.
We were in Costa Rica this last week with Gradient, and so a number of other advisors were there as well. And I mean, just beautiful. One of the most beautiful beach locations I've ever been to.
Wow.
It was the weather was nice. It was supposed to rain every single day, and it just didn't. It was overcast some of the time, which actually helped keep things cool.
Yeah.
But every single day it was supposed to rain, and it would just skirt right by us. Or
nice.
We got lucky there.
Man,
the resort was fantastic. It wasn't crazy crowded and busy. It was very low key and laid back, and we had a nice time and nice little recharge.
Good. Did you see any animals? Like, is there any jungle area? Did you see monkeys or like parrots or things like that? Macaws or whatever.
We saw howler monkeys.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We saw a couple of different types of raccoons. Some of them that looked fairly similar to what we have here, except they were kind of tall and skinny, like really long legs. And then some other ones that I thought were lemurs, but we looked it up and turns out it's some type of a Costa Rican raccoon. But cool little creatures. We saw some different looking type of squirrels, a lot of crabs. People had crabs in their bathrooms and the in their rooms.
Really? No. Wow, really? That's crazy. Yeah. That's
April Lee. You know April Lee. She was in one of the public restrooms there on the property the first day, and she had a scorpion run into her stall while she was in there.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy.
All kinds of wildlife everywhere there.
Yeah. Well, the howler monkeys, I imagine now there's a Gradient marketer named Rob Romsberg who you saw. He was there, right? And I imagine that was nice of him. That was nice for him to have it in Costa Rica where so many of his relatives are at then. The howler monkeys.
Let's send this to Rob.
There's not too many. He's not too many steps removed if you've met Rob from those are he acts like it anyway.
Yeah. No, I flew in with him. We were on the same plane together.
Oh wow, yeah, flying from Kansas, I assume. So yeah, you guys ended up on the same flight. Well, hey, we're going to talk today about habits for a happy retirement. And I can't wait to dig into this because who doesn't want to have a happy retirement? But there are some things you can plan for in order to make your retirement a happy one, right?
Right.
Where do you guys want to begin with that?
So, there are definitely some things that when it comes to retirement that can make it better or worse. And, being a financial advisors here, we're always talking about the financial side of things. But money is not everything.
Right.
And, here on our show notes that we had put together, it was interesting to me as we were going through this, that there are 8 different studies here that we have here to reference, but not one of them listed money as the number one priority for happiness in retirement.
Wow.
Not one of them. Now, money's important because, hey, we got to be able to pay the bills, and it is important, obviously, to have enough to be able to do the things we want to do. But it's not everything. And it seems to me as we go through this, I think you'll see as well that there are other things that are a lot more important. Josh and I sit down with so many different people from all walks of life. And you sit down with someone who's got a couple of $1 million. You could sit down with someone that's got a couple of $100,000. And we've sat down with people that just have, you know, 10, 20, $30,000. And some of them, they're happy even though they don't have much. So it's not really how many dollars we have. There's a few other things that come into play. And I think the first one here that's on this list here is the working or even playing to stay healthy. So, you know, doing everything you can to stay healthy in your retirement years is a big help, because if you're healthy, that enables you to do a lot of other things. We hear a lot of people, they'll spend their last dollar trying to take care of themselves with regards to a health condition. And so doing what we can to be healthy along the way is a big help towards happiness.
Well, hey, if I could jump in here, it's obviously staying healthy in retirement is huge. I do think it ties back, though, in defense of money. We're mainly focusing on non-financial things today. But if I know that I've got enough money in a plan to get me through retirement and don't need to worry, will I have enough money to last through retirement? Mm-hmm. You're going to sleep better at night. And so that sleep that you're going to get, and removing that piece to get that financial plan in place is going to relieve a lot of stress, which is going to lead to a happier, healthy retirement, right?
That's absolutely right, Tony. I mean, that one of the factors in all of this is managing stress. And when you know that you have enough funds, especially in retirement, when you're no longer generating a paycheck, if the funds are going to last you through retirement, you have a plan in place that can make sure of that. That's going to remove a massive amount of stress. That's where a lot of people get their stress is from financial worries. So if you can take that out of the picture, that helps a whole lot.
It's huge.
But and then in addition to that, making sure that you have relationships, fostering social connections is a huge thing for people in retirement. Loneliness is a silent killer. It really is. And so if you have relationships, people that can kind of come around you when you're feeling low, and then vice versa, you have impact in each other's lives, that helps people live longer. It really does. And it brings more abundance into your life. And so I think that's a massive thing.
Human beings, we are all social creatures, even those of us that do like to spend some time alone, the more introvert personality types. But we still need, you may not be one that needs to be in a crowd of 20 or 30 people, but maybe you need to have, 2 or 3 good friends that you're with on a regular basis, and that you're communicating with and having that interaction and going back and forth. It really does is a big help. Some of the studies that we have here that we're referencing, one of them talks about that the older adults experience times when they are lonely at least once a week. And so having that interaction, I think about, my dad, he's lost my mom a few years back, but he lives literally across the driveway from my sister and 4 grandkids. And they come over on a regular basis. I've been on the phone with them, and the youngest of them just kind of walks in, "Hi, Pop, I'm here." Where's my snack, and where it's time for my show, right? So it brightens the day, and it generally, there's some laughter that happens in the meantime, and those are all things that are really, really good for us to help us. It changes the hormone balance in your body when you're laughing and having a good time, and that helps with our health and enjoying life.
And an aspect of that was the social interaction too.
Sure.
And Harvard actually has done a study. It's like the longest running study of adult life, and they basically concluded that strong relationships are the single most powerful predictor of health and happiness, and that's beyond career achievements, diet, and exercise. So it really is a big, important piece of the puzzle. And Tony, you'd actually mentioned something before the show. We told you to save it for the show. But you were talking about your dad and his coffee buddies.
Yeah. I mean, my dad retired, and because he had back issues and some other issues. So, and he had been an over the road truck driver and worked on the farm. Okay. But he wanted to work on the farm more. So he basically retired, and he would get up every morning, and I mean every day, sometimes on the weekends too, Saturdays. Usually Sunday's the only day they didn't meet. And him and like 12 other guys would get together in town for coffee. And they'd sit around every morning, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, same group of like 12 guys got together for coffee and chatted. And that really meant a lot to him. And my dad did pretty well. But then he fell, and then he started to get kind of an early onset of Parkinson's. And then he was unable to go into coffee every day, and he was unable to go out and mess around with the tractors and stuff on the farm. And that's what he lived for. And his decline was it was like a cliff. It was like it fell so quickly. His cognitive decline, and the doctors and all the experts said the cognitive decline will happen with Parkinson's, but not yet. So it wasn't the Parkinson's that did it.
Right.
It was losing that social connection and what he lived for, his purpose. And so you don't want to lose your purpose. Right. You have to have a purpose in retirement, right?
You do. And that actually was our next point here is, people that are happy have a clear sense of purpose.
Yeah.
And, you find this when we talk to people of all ages. Someone that has a clear sense of purpose, it seems like it takes the fog off of the lenses, right? And you can see where you're going. You've got something you're aiming for, and you don't want to lose that when you retire. But the problem is, so many people, their sense of purpose is wrapped up in their job, and so when you go and retire, you lose that sense of purpose. And really, you need to have something else that's you've either been working on the side or that's waiting in the wings for a purpose in your retirement years, so that you can help with that longevity. Or I heard somebody say it this way: instead of lifespan, they called it health span, to staying healthy as long as you are alive. Right? I mean, we don't know when our number's up, but I want to stay as healthy as I can for as long as I can for that lifespan. So.
Yeah, good point. So I love this topic, ways to be happy in retirement. It's a positive topic.
Yes, it is.
And again, having a purpose in retirement, having something to get up for. I think these are all good things, and it all leads to better health and a longer, health span and a longer retirement.
Yeah, well, absolutely, Tony. I think another thing that happy retirees, that's true of happy retirees, is that they never stop learning. And I think that's a massive thing. I mean, it keeps your brain going.
Yep.
Your brain is meant to learn. And so if you turn that activity off, well, you're turning off a portion of your brain.
Yeah, you are.
So continually learning new things. And that's why, people age 75 and older are part of the fastest growing demographic in the workforce.
Wow.
And not all of it is just simply because they have to work. I mean, there are those that simply can't retire based on financial reasons, but there are very, very many that are still in the workforce just because that's where they're finding a sense of purpose. That's where they're continually learning and growing, and they're doing it for the love of the game, if you will.
Yeah.
They're enjoying it. And so keep learning.
Personal education is great. My mother-in-law is 90. She's taking a Spanish class at 90.
Oh, there you go.
Awesome. trying to learn another language.
Yeah. Personal story on that one. On the negative side, actually, was my grandfather. When computers really started to come out, he looked at it and said, "Yeah, I don't want to learn." And he was a nuts and bolts kind of guy. He liked doing things with his hands, and the computer, he's like, I just don't even want to. He didn't even want to try.
Right.
So he kind of quit on that, and you could see the change. It was slow at first, but things began to shift for him mentally. And he did end up with Alzheimer's a few years later, but it was a shift when he said, yeah, I just don't want to learn.
Right.
And so, like Josh said, you shut off a portion of your brain, and well, we kind of need the whole thing functioning, right?
Yeah.
So, it's a big thing, learning.
Yeah, learning is a big one. And I know a lot of universities and colleges offer free courses to seniors. Like seniors can sit in on any course they want. You can go to a class and not have to pay anything at a lot of colleges if you're 65 or older.
Yeah, which is a fantastic program.
Yeah, I think it is great. And I know people who have done it. I have relatives. My uncle, he goes and, like he says, he's auditing the class, but he's learning, he's going to these college classes.
Stuff.
Yeah, exactly. But like learning a language and staying, taking a class on computers. My mom stayed really sharp up until the time, that she also had Parkinson's, which really took its toll. But she went back. She learned how to, when website development was first coming in the 90s, she went back, learned how, and built a website for her company. And now she's 81 years old now, and she did that when she was in her 60s. So good for her, right?
Yeah, very good.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah. So learning is a big one, and I think it actually ties into another one that we'll talk some more about. But is the social interaction is key to happiness in retirement. Like my dad with the coffee club, whether it's a book club or a coffee club or your church, volunteering at your church. These things are all huge to do in retirement, and important to stave off things like Alzheimer's. And learning really helps. Like, the more you read, the more you know, the more you try to keep your brain learning new things, the longer you're going to last and the happier you'll be.
Yeah, absolutely, Tony. I think another thing that is extremely helpful, it's literally just optimism.
Yep.
People who are optimistic, I mean, there are many, many studies, but JAMA Network did a study that said that it found that highly optimistic people were significantly less likely to suffer cardiovascular events, and they had a lower overall mortality rate.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Your heart does better if you're looking for the positive things.
Right. Yeah. If you stay more positive, stay optimistic, that glass is half full, right?
Right. Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, you can, like I mentioned earlier, we have some of those, we have the higher net worth clients, and you have the lower net worth clients, and those ones that are on the lower side of things, they've got that positive outlook, some of them. And it's just like, hey, it's going to work out. It's going to be all right. We're going to get through, they're facing a difficulty. I'll get through it and I'll go on. I'm going to do whatever. Yeah. And they're positive in spite of the situations that life is throwing at them.
Sure.
And so, a lot of people, as they start to get a negative outlook as some of the difficulties mount up, right? Because you can't do, as we get older, we can't do the things we used to do. And so, but, they still maintain a positive outlook, and they keep going. They adjust and keep on going forward.
Yeah, that's huge. I think optimism is a good one. I'm glad you brought that up. So what else do they find in people who are happier in retirement? What's another trait?
Well, I think the next one we were going to look at is very close to the one on optimism, and that's gratitude.
Yeah.
And, you can see this one, and this is, I think, one that you can pick up when you're around someone that is thankful and grateful for what they do have and for the relationships that they do have. Maybe some things are difficult, but they still find something. They still find the things that they can be grateful for. And, if where I focus my attention, I tend to see more of. And so if I'm just looking at all the negative, and now I end up, pessimistic, and then now I'm in depression, and, it's a slippery slope. It's like becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. But so the other way seems to do it as well. When you're around people that are positive and are thankful for what they have and the relationships, you can see it. They come in here and they thank us for what we're doing. And they thank us for, even just the appointment. Sometimes, it's like, it's nice to be around this kind of person, which I think the gratitude also helps with the social interaction side of things as well. 'Cause we all like to be around someone who's thankful and is grateful. They're nicer to be around.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah, gratitude's a big one. And of course, it ties right in with the previous one, being optimistic and having a positive attitude. I mean, gratitude plays right into that. They feed each other, but I think being grateful for what you have, and it helps with the contentment of not, I need more. I'm grateful with what I have, or for what I have. And that is going to help you grow more as a person and grow what you have. I think if you're not grateful for what you have, it makes it harder to move forward.
It does. Yeah. You end up just being stuck in your own, I don't know, your own self-pity.
Yeah.
And, when you really don't have a reason for it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I mean, there is a lot to be thankful for, even in the tough times. Life, like you said, Jim, life throws things at us. Right. So
it does.
Practice gratitude. People who, every survey shows that all the research, like you said, Josh, shows that people who are practice gratitude and are grateful for others and other things, the studies show they are happier in retirement.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's a big one.
It is.
Now, I think the next thing, those that follow the best science for healthy aging. And there's a study that was done in 2023. It was a study of 276,000 U.S. veterans. A lot of people involved in this study. So I think, I think the things, it should be fairly accurate because it's a large sample size here. But they identified 8 different habits that could add more than 2 decades to a person's life. Those habits are physical activity. A lot of the things we've talked about: physical activity, not smoking, managing your stress, eating well.
I knew that would be in this list. Eating. Wait, I have to eat well now?
Oh, you have to eat well, unfortunately. I'm sorry.
What else?
Avoiding regular binge drinking. Sorry, Tony. No,
that's not true. I don't drink.
I'm just messing with you. Good sleep hygiene, positive social relationships, and freedom from opioid dependency.
Yeah.
So those 8 habits, they really lend themselves to longevity, adding 2 decades on average to people's lives.
It is
absolutely massive.
Huge. And people might be wondering, wow, why was you already mentioned like binge drinking, eating well? Why would they specifically, part of the study, have opioid dependency? I remember that life expectancies were growing and growing and growing. And then one year, the life expectancies for the average American tanked, and it was based on one factor, one thing: opioid deaths. And not to be negative, but that is a major thing. I mean, when people have pain, if they get addicted to, Oxycontin, sometimes, everybody from, businessmen and smart, successful people have had this problem,
Yeah. Absolutely.
So you gotta be careful there. But you're right. I mean, and some of those are like, I've heard all that before. Don't drink, don't smoke, exercise, eat well.
Right.
But there were some in there: stress, positive social relationships. I mean, all of these things add up, but 2 decades, that's huge.
Yeah. And not only will it add life expectancy, but like Jem mentioned before, the health span. I like that. I mean, you don't want to just, continue on living in misery. Adding some of these things into your life, especially the things like gratitude and optimism, those are going to make you actually enjoy those extra 2 decades as opposed to just living through them.
Yeah. Or suffering through them.
Suffering through them. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Because, I look at, my one grandmother, she died literally on her 92nd birthday. And the night before, we had a birthday party for her the day before. And she was there at our house. She was giving me a hard time, picking on me as her favorite / only grandson.
But we all everyone picks on you, Jim. I mean, that's
yes,
kind of a thing. Yeah.
Yeah. It is definitely is around here too. Especially by this guy. But she was cutting up. She was having a blast. We were, laughing and carrying on the night before. And I have to say, she was happy, grateful, and optimistic to the last night.
Yeah.
And
isn't that wonderful?
It was something else.
Wonderful.
And she didn't have this. Yeah, she had some things she couldn't do like she used to, but she would still get around. Yeah, she didn't trust herself to drive anymore, but we were there and we helped her out and got her where she needed to go. But happy as could be, right to the end.
That's awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah, it sounds like my grandfather who lived to 101. He was still driving and doing things at 100.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, he was camping just a few months before he passed.
Oh, man.
And he really had no diseases. At the end, I think he had diabetes, for the last year of his life. But
wow.
Okay.
I mean, really,
if you can make it to 100 years old without anything, that's incredible.
Mm-hmm. It is incredible, isn't it? I mean, and he was still walking around. I mean, it is unbelievable. So it is really, and he was happy. But again, he had, a reason to get up every morning.
Right.
That's key. And I think where it started was, as you said, all this that you guys have been talking about, like you said at the beginning, Jim, it all points toward money isn't everything.
Right.
However, it does help pay the bills. You
Yes.
need it. You need a plan in place. You need to know you've got enough money to last you throughout your
Yes, you
retirement,
do.
so you can do the things you want and pay the bills. But beyond that, there's so much more to retirement and happiness in retirement. Yeah.
There is a lot more. And I was just one last thing here is don't chase happiness as its end goal. It's the purpose, it's the gratefulness, it's the relationships. Those are the things that produce the happiness.
Right.
Happiness as a goal on its own, chasing that doesn't work. But but yeah, all these things, including put that together with a nice financial plan that is purpose built for you for your retirement years, it all helps.
Yeah, it all adds up. Well, hey, this has been a great discussion talking about habits for a happy retirement. And Jim and Josh, you both brought it. I mean, you brought a lot of great ideas and a lot of things to be happy about. I am grateful for this show and for you two guys. I'm going to work at really being more grateful, even for Jim. And so let's see how I work that in. But in all seriousness, this is really important and it's really good. And it's a big part of being prepared for retirement and having a happy and successful retirement. So before we go, if our listeners out there and viewers have questions, I know you love to hear from them. You'll be happy to answer any questions they have, and they can even set up a no-charge consultation and come in and see you, and there's no charge or obligation if they want some questions for that consultation. How can they do that?
Absolutely, Tony. Well, listeners, just give us a call. Our number is 417-641-3497, and visit our website at LaTourasset.com.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Jim and Josh. Listeners, that does it for today's episode of LaTour Retirement Talk with Josh LaTour and Jim Margraf.